Yeah. So we chant our mantra. Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Today, I will tell you the story of Nachiketa. Many of you already know about this story, but for those who haven't known about Nachiketa, Nachiketa, can you hear me well, student? Can you hear, children?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The story is about a young boy, maybe in his 8 or 10 years of age, just like you people. One day, his father, Vajashravas, he was doing a yajna in which he was trying to offer things which was not important for him. And the yajna was for what? He was asking for the boon of immortality or something very huge he wants in life. He wants to become the richest king on earth. So when you are offering, what his son thought that when you are offering such things like old cows, not wanted things from home, will that yajna be successful for his father? That was his question. So as children are very inquisitive and they will ask questions at the right time when it should not be asked. So he asked the question to his father, Father, if you are doing all this and will it, if it not doesn't benefit to you, what is the use of doing this yajna? Are you going to offer me also in the yajna? So his father was angry and he said, I will offer to you to the Lord of Death. He just happened to say like that. He didn't mean it. But this boy, he went to the Lord of Death. Who is the Lord of Death, children? It is Swayam Yama Dharmaraja. Yama we call. So when we are dealing with 8th chapter, the topic is about what happens if you die, where does the soul travel? And when this child went to Yama, Yama was so surprised that such a young child came all the way from the earth to meet him. So and the problem was when Yama was on duty, he went there and he had to stay for 3 days consecutive without food, without water, without anyone there. So Yama was very astonished that such a brilliant child, a Brahmana, has come to my doors and he has to stay without food for 3 days. So he gave three boons to him. So children, when someone gives a boon, you want to take everything, right? But this child was extraordinary. He said, I don't want any boons. But Yama thought he's a small child, so he told him, see, the boons will give you entire wealth, all the gold, ornaments, whatever you want. Even Yama removed his ornaments and wanted to give him. But the child was so extraordinary, he was so learned, he was intelligent, and he said, if you want to give me something, he wants to know what is that knowledge. If you get it, then you don't require anything. And Yama was very pleased. Yama understood this is not a normal child. So he tried to explain him. Swayam, death, the king of death, the ruler of death, Yama, told all the things, which is exactly what is in our Bhagavad Gita. The knowledge about your own self, the knowledge about your own potential, right? A seed doesn't know that it can grow into a big, huge tree. Okay, but it requires proper care, nourishment, and proper placement in the soil. So all this, what you are, like a seed with potential energy. When you get proper nourishment, proper care, you will grow into a sapling, then a tree, into a huge tree. So that knowledge is given to this child about none other than God himself. And where is the God? God is none other than he is in each person, each material thing, each innate and inanimate thing, everything is God. So that was the knowledge. So we have seen in the last few verses where 16th verse talks about the material creation, and it is created by none other than Brahmaji. Okay. And then some discussion about the Chatur Yuga, Brahma's one day. All this was done up to the 20th verse. What we have seen that Brahmaji is created by none other than Vishnu's navel. So part of Vishnu is Brahmaji. And what happens if you see it's like a entire universe is in one bubble. And if you see this multi-universe, if you see at one given time, there are infinite bubbles like that. And one bubble is one Brahmaji's world. In that there is Chatur Yuga. In there is 14 lokas. Children, try to understand this. It's very important. When you see a galaxy and you see the universe, there are so many, Swastik can tell me better, cosmos, universe, multiverse. But the only infinite thing is Brahman. Now here we cannot give infinity a form, but we have to give some form. So that's why we have given 4 hands, 2 legs, and then he's lying in suspension, because infinity cannot be kept on some place. But this also is not, it is just an example. So imagine there are so many multiverses, and it all comes through none other than Vishnu, or the consciousness, the infinity. So this is what is explained in the future verses. In 21st verse, we have seen this, that the ultimate state of existence is this infinity. If we have come made by God, created by God, by himself, like this, God only created everything, and we are in this universe, in this Brahmaloka, then what are we? We are part of him. So we have to go back to him. This is what the verse 21st said to us. I hope you understood. Now we will start today's class, 22nd verse from Swastik, by Swastik. Go ahead, Swastik.
Thank you, sir. Now, first, I'd want everyone to chant after me. Purusha Saparah Partha
Purusha Sapara Partha
Bhaktya Labhyastavananyaya
Bhaktya Labdyastavamyaya
Yasyantasthani Bhutani
Yasyantastani Bhutani
Yena Sarvamidam Tatam.
Yena Sarvamidam Tatam.
So, this verse talks about our Brahman, the one that we know, which is truly infinite, as per given by Sachin sir. Now, here, another thing that they say is influential towards an age-old question. What is the value of the Bhagavad Gita? What does the Bhagavad Gita teach? Now, everyone must have heard of the Quran, which the Muslims follow, and the Bible, specifically the New Testament part, which speaks about Jesus and how to reach God. Similarly, our Bhagavad Gita is also a guidebook as per the Quran and the Bible. A guidebook gives us certain instructions and explains to us what is this place, how do you survive in it, what are the interesting aspects of it. Like this, Christianity talks about God, its layers of heaven and the earth. Whereas the Quran also speaks about how the Muslims should lead their life. And such like that, the Bhagavad Gita also states what are the actions of God, what goes on in our life, where is God present, and finally, what is this God? But the difference between our Quran and the Bible from the Bhagavad Gita is that in Islam and Christianity, they both clearly state that polytheism, the worship of multiple gods, is prohibited completely. Whereas in the Bhagavad Gita, we do not take this as a we do not take polytheism as a ban completely. Instead, we take it as a hierarchy. Here I am excluding the Rakshasas and Asuras because they would not apply to this hierarchy. But at the lowest level will come us, the Manavs, and the animals that live in the Bhuloka. Then come the Suras or Devas who live in the Swargalok. Then after them come Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva, who are the primordial men of materialization, preservation and destruction. The Brahmaloka is the abode of Brahma. Vishnu lives completely in a different area and Shiva lives on Mount Kailash. Now there is another form of Shiva which is Rudra, who lives between universes. As per what Sir has said, he is the one who destroys universes. But that is a story for another time. And after that is the last person, the person who answers to no one, the Paramatma, who is the man situated at the apex of this hierarchy. Therefore, as per our Sanatana Dharma, it states that figuratively polytheism is acceptable, but indirectly it is monotheism. Because even in the verse it is stated, everything and every place is the Paramatma. And so are the Suras or the Devas, so are Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, everyone, everything around you, everything you can see, everything is Paramatma, or as given in the verse, the supreme deity. So thank you, Sachin sir, for giving me this verse. Thank you all.
Excellent. So you tried to explain in your way. Let me try to explain a little bit more. So what this verse is telling is just like this ripple in a pond. So we see that ripple and we see this small bubble that is our universe. It is also part of the ripple. The ripple is part of the pond. This universe is just one small drop in the ripple. This ripple is one small ripple in the pond. So what God is trying to say, that those who understand that whatever they can see and whatever they cannot see, it's also God, it's also Him. And those who understand this knowledge, then they understand that there are multiple possibilities of reaching Him. That's why polytheism, that's why He's saying that God cannot be in one form, He can be in many, many forms. So we start with one form, like recently Ganesha festival is going on, right? So those who like Ganesha, they will pray to Ganesha. But those who like Krishna, Janmashtami happened, they will pray to Krishna. So God is in different form, but we finally have to reach the form which is infinite, like this infinite ripples in the pond. So everything is God. That's what is meant in this verse. Now let us go to the next verse by Ankita. Over to you, Ankita.
हरि ओम all. यत्र काले त्वनावृत्तिम्
Yatra kale tvanavrittim
आवृत्तिम
चैव योगिना
avrittim chaiva yogina
प्रयाता यान्ति तं कालम्
prayata yanti tam kalam
वक्ष्यामि भरतर्षभ
vakshyami bharatarshava.
The short meaning of this verse is, O Arjuna, I shall speak about those paths departing by which path the yogis attain the world of non-return and the world of return. So next slide. In this verse, Lord Krishna explains the different paths of passing away for different people from this world. The person who has surrendered himself in front of God is called yogi. And a perfect yogi can choose the time and place to leave this materialistic world. But other normal person, death depends on nature's will. Here, Lord Krishna called Arjuna as best of the Bharatas because Arjuna was a devoted devotee of Lord Krishna. Hari Om, thank you.
Very nice explanation. But for those who are understanding this, what he's talking about is everyone who chooses the path, different paths, finally it has to reach to one, that is understanding that God is within you as he is within each material and non-materialistic thing around you. Who is a yogi? He understands this long back. Long back means after understanding the nature of God, the infinite God, the Nirguna Brahmana. So Saguna means with attributes. Like this pen, it has color, it has size, it has shape, it does some work. But can you tell this about God? You can't. If you say that God is white color, then black people will be unhappy. If you say God is a male, then females will be unhappy. If you say God is a bird, then other animals will be unhappy, isn't it? So you cannot relate God or give attributes to the infinite. You can give, if you give anything attributes to the Brahman, then he becomes one of us. Do you understand what I'm saying? So that's why we should not, we should understand, once we understand this part, then you will understand the potential of each individual is the potential of a small, see the nuclear weapon explosion creates such a huge energy, but it starts with that small, very small, tiny fusion and explosion. So multiple atomic reaction causes a nuclear fusion. That small neutron or positron which has energy in it is having energy in each one of you. If you understand that potential in you, then you can take any leap in your life. You can get any grades. You can be the best of the best if you understand that potential. That understanding is what is said as yogi nam. Okay, now we go to the next 24th verse by Moksh. Let us see what it says.
Hari Om Mol. Agni Jai O Tirah Shukla.
Agni Jai और तिहर
Agni
शुक्लः
Shuklah.
Shanmasa Uttarayanam.
Shanmasa Uttarayanam.
Tatra Prayata Gachanti.
तत्र
Tatra
प्रयाता
Prayata
गच्छन्ति
Gachanti.
Brahma Brahma Vido Jana.
ब्रह्म
Brahma Brahma Vido
जना.
Jana.
The short meaning of this verse is departing by that bright path which is presided over by the deities of fire, flame day, the bright fortnight, and the 6 months of the sun, northern pole. Those people who meditate on Shaguna, Brahma attain Brahm. So next.
No. Sorry. Not Brahm. What is the meaning of Brahm in Hindi? हेलो मोक्ष ब्रह्म का मतलब क्या है हिंदी में?
Sir, I know, sir. Brahm
ब्रह्म
means
ब्रह्मी
imaginary thing
नो
that we see.
ब्रह्मन है
Golden.
वो। नहीं सुनो पहली बात, ब्रह्मन है, ब्रह्म नहीं है वो, कोई भ्रम नहीं है वो, ब्रह्मन है, ठीक है?
I think in Hindi, Brahm means confusion.
Confusion. So don't say some words which is absolutely going to confuse more. ब्रह्मन, ठीक है? मोक्ष वो भ्रम नहीं है,
Okay, sir.
ठीक है? इसलिए थोड़ा प्रैक्टिस करना, जब भी प्रेजेंटेशन होता है प्रैक्टिस करना। ठीक है, next.
In this verse, Lord Krishna describes how yogis depart from world. The yogis who follow the path of fire, light daytime, bright for night, and the 6 months of Nagan go to Brahma and don't rebirth again in this world. They get moksha. Away of Jiva is only for those who are devoted devotees of Lord Krishna, because all these fire jyoti bright for night Uttarayan are very auspicious and make our life very pure.
Okay, so what this verse is, yeah, Hari Om. What this verse is trying to say is, now those who people worship Saguna Brahman. First verse was about Nirguna, no attributes. We can't see that God, but you worship. You know, there is one very beautiful religion, or we can call a way of life called Shintoism. Japanese people worship Shintoism, and they don't worship any idol. They believe that God is in all forms, and they have a small place in their home which doesn't have anything. They sit quietly and they worship nothing. Is it possible for you tomorrow? I say, everyone go and sit in one place and corner and just close your mind and worship. Is it possible for you? Sharo?
Sir, maybe.
Maybe because of this knowledge.
Yeah.
So that is where what the first verse before this 24th, 23rd, it was saying, okay, those who are yogis, they don't have to worship anything because they understood. But now this 24th verse is explaining that those who don't understand the Nirguna form, at least let them worship the fire god, the sun, the Uttarayana. If they do this ritualistic thing, they also go to Brahman. So what he is telling is, don't worry. There are many ways to go to Brahman, many ways to understand God. You try to follow whatever is easy for you. That is what is the answer. That is what is the meaning of this. Let us now go to the next 25th verse and last verse today. Sharo, over to you.
धूमो रात्रिस्तथा कृष्णाः
धूमो रात्रिस्तथा कृष्णा
षण्मासा दक्षिणायनम्
षण्मासा दक्षिणायनम्
तत्र चान्द्रमसं ज्योतिर्योगी प्राप्य निवर्तते
तत्र
चान्द्रमसं ज्योतिर्योगी प्राप्य निवर्तते.
Those who pass away, the literal meaning is those who pass away during the 6 months of the sun's southern run, the waning fortnight of the moon, the time of smoke, the night, attain the celestial abodes. After enjoying celestial pleasures, they return to the cycle of birth and death. So the previous word, it was saying the time of death, or the deities which preside over the path, of which yogis take. That is what the previous verse says. This verse says that at what times the people have done lots of punya, but they didn't realize the Lord in the 6 months of Dakshinayana. Dakshinayana is like the southern run of the sun. I don't know how to explain now. The previous one was Uttarayana. So there are 2 runs of it.
Yes.
It's the waning fortnight of the moon. I'm sure we've all learned in school that the moon goes in two things, the waning area and the waxing area. The waxing is when we can see more of the moon, and the waning is we can see less and less of the moon. At the night and the time of smoke. For me, the time of smoke is defined by because this path is also ruled by the deity of smoke. So it is ruled by this path which carries punya. They will go to the celestial abodes, but they will come back to this cycle of samsara. That path is presided by the deity of smoke, night, and Dakshinayana. This is the dark path that we do not want to go in. We want to go to the light path, the bright path, where we will attain moksha. Hari Om.
So that's what now we have seen Nirguna, attributeless form of worship by yogis. Second, Saguna form, who do all the ritualistic thing and they pass away into that correct time when the moon is getting bigger, or it is Uttarayana, that is up to, I think it starts from, I think Uttarayana is over. Now we are in Dakshinayana. So it is the phase where sun god is going towards northern side. And then once it will go there, it will come back to the southern side. So they generally anything going southern is considered to be negative.
And I changed it in September. No, I mean,
September.
yeah.
Yes. So
And
it
it came
goes.
into Dakshinayana.
Okay. So we would be, I think we are going towards southern side. So now what those people who have done a lot of punya, but they go into, they die or they pass away. So if they remember Lord in this time also, they will reach to the Lord. That's what is understood by this verse. See, this is all about death, and we don't have to worry about death because we are very young. We have many, many years to live.
But
What
like
we
this
have to
is a
understand
wage
is,
of this is
hmm,
wage of death, then what wage of what happens after that?
yes. So
It's
after
not
that,
something to worry about, but something to prepare about.
prepare about. So when you are doing preparation for exams, you have to not worry but prepare. If you worry about the results, what happens after the exam is given, we don't know. But what is in our hand is to prepare for the exam. So that can be considered as one part of exams for you. And if you want to pass the exams, if you want to get like yogi, read everything, learn everything, come with flying colors. You will get the flying colors. The passing of death in any situation, maybe in Uttarayana, Dakshinayana, banning, waxing, or the fire god, all that is least important for a yogi. So, out of all these things, what would we like to become? The yogi who has understood death now and here. The death is only of the body. In second chapter, we have seen that this body is worn like a shirt. Once the shirt is used, we don't keep on using the shirt when on the first birthday up to the 100th birthday. How many shirts we change? Same way, our Atma just changes this body so many times. With the body, minds also come, mind thoughts comes. So everything is like a coding that is there with you. What we can do is you decode everything by the knowledge of Bhagwan, Krishna. And the very subtle, simple thing is that I am infinite. You can make any number of words, like Brahmaji can create so many bubbles, and the bubbles is one part of the ripple, and ripple is one part of the small pond, and there are thousands of ponds like that, multiverses. But finally, to come to me, you have to get that understanding experience of infinity. That is what is the understanding. Very difficult, but very easy to understand if you can. It's both. It can be very difficult, but if you understand, it is very easy. So children, I know it is difficult topic, but we are successfully at the end of the chapter 8, and now it is very simple. You can choose any path, but finally we have to choose the simpler path. Simplest path is here and now. Here and now, if I understand that Bhagwan is in each one of you, and when I experience that, as Nayana once said very clearly, she doesn't get angry on someone getting angry on her because she is seeing Krishna in that person. She is not doesn't see Krishna only in good people. In bad people also she is seeing Krishna. That understanding is the understanding of yogi, and such a yogi will attain the higher self, the Brahman. So let us now conclude conclude this class by chanting our mantra. Om Purnamadam Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om.